Hello, everybody. I'll wait a little bit and see if anybody comes. My name is Juniper Blue Mystique. I am an Ascension Master, a Master Healer, and a Divine Guide. This channel and myself are the return of Christ. You will find the entirety of what that is on this channel. There's a specific playlist that put everything in a row for you that you can at least see here. It consisted of everything from clearing Mount Shasta to activating pyramids all over the globe, clearing all darkness back to the beginning of time, closing down all 12 gates of darkness, opening up all 13 into light. Hello, Lisa. Good afternoon. And so much more. So I encourage you to check that out. So I'm just setting up the space and calming the energy and seeing who comes on today. I'm going to give it a little bit of time to see who actually does come on. Sometimes there's a delay. Sometimes people run a few minutes late. I will give a quick channeled message for the collective. And I was going to be doing healings and messages today for those that request one and those for God, that God nudges me to do one for. But again, we will see who comes, right? Hello, Just Saint. Hello, Lisa. Thank you for commenting, because you know, if you're my regulars, YouTube be lying. YouTube be lying, yo. They don't tell me who's here right away. So in order to receive a healing and a message, you must be able to comment and ask, right? So keep that in mind for anybody new. Yeah, and if you do receive any healings and messages today, all you had to do was show up and request, but be open to general. I don't want to know anything about you, right? I kind of thought so. Hopefully, both of you will. Before I came on, though, I was having to clear my solar plexus because there's just something major going on there. It was like my heart was beating into my throat, but it wasn't mine. And so that's what I was working on. So I don't know if you can hear the tone in the background. It is 323.63 hertz, if you can hear it. Absolutely. Like I said, we'll give it just a little bit to see who comes on. I'm just kind of calming the energy. I did call in the angels and the creator like I always do, and I lit my candles, but I am going to burn some Palo Santo. Also, let me get this one. There's been a lot of powerfully intense energies. And then when I went into my solar plexus, I saw like a blue and a white snake in there. So what do snakes usually mean? Power, right? Power upgrades, stepping into our power. And sometimes there's a lot of illusionary things like fear and things keeping us from doing that. Yeah. So I was having to clear all that before I came on. And I have been busy, super busy uploading my new deck. So I've got the background all set, and I've been uploading the images and doing any touch-ups that I need to do. So I'm super excited to tell you that it is almost ready for publication. I work on that every day. Yeah, I'm super excited. I love this deck. It's very powerful. Of course, from the time I started to the time that of completion of drawing them, I can see upgrades occurred in that time frame also, because I constantly do healing, channel healing art flows, right? What do you want to call those? We do blockage removal for our creative side a lot. I do those a lot because on the new earth, your creative side is part of your balanced flow. It doesn't matter what it is, right? We all have a creative side. And so quite often, sometimes once a month, 444, some of us get together and I clear that channel for you. And we do it a lot through painting. The Nile, though, if you guys remember, I did it through pencil first. Because when I first did the Nile back in June of 23, I think it was totally different. And it didn't work again. I had to start all over. And it came out totally different than the first one. So I'm really proud of that. So I noticed that in the deck too. Like some of the cards did like this upgrading. But you guys, there's a lot of pressure going on in my chest, in my throat, and in my solar plexus. Like it's massive. Massive. And I've been having to breathe in and release and push it down. And I haven't gotten it 100% yet. So I'm like, ooh, doggy, like it is, like it is some tight stuff. I'm like, woo. So I'm just cleansing the space. How's all of you feeling today after our Northern Star thing yesterday? That was so cool. Instead of going to Sequoia, like I thought we were going to go, they actually guided me towards the most northern star. And that took us to Northeast Asia. And I did look all of that up, actually. And millions of years ago, there were lots of redwood trees there. And I kept tuning into this nomadic tribe that used to be there in our healing yesterday. I kept saying that. Like there's a nomadic tribe there. I didn't do research on that yet. But there was actually, that is their prominent star that lights up the sky at night in Northeast Asia, is the Northern Star. And there used to be lots of redwood trees there that were cut down and lost. And next to pandas, it has become one of their biggest conservation, is that the right word, efforts since 1943 to preserve what was left of the species of the redwoods. So I believe they replanted them back then. I'm not sure how that all went down. But when I researched that and it matched up with what we did yesterday, it's just so validating. I love those moments to me. I was so happy yesterday. I was like, oh, look at this. It's, and everything is so validating. It's hard to deny. It's hard to deny that we're in the end of days, right? That this is it. This is it. This is absolutely unequivocally it. And so whatever that is. And then did you guys notice, I don't know if you pay attention to certain things, but I kept getting these notifications. There were people who were having dreams that it's time to rise, right? It was so incredibly validating. I love stuff like that, but everything usually is that I do. And I just love it all. I would have never known. To go to Northeast Asia yesterday or the Northernest Star. I thought we were going to the sequoia trees that we've always gone to. And that was not the case. I'm like, what is that? That must be the ash from my Palo Santo. Instead, we went to Northeast Asia. And I'm like, what? And it was so cool to go to the Northernest Star there. But I did see notifications about the fact that we have major influx solar flares coming in right now in the heart of Lionsgate. And they're going to collide and bring the 3 days of darkness. And I was like, somebody was channeling that. I don't know if they were channeling it from the Pleiades or who it was, but I saw it on YouTube. So there is people actually channeling the fact that the sun is meeting this portal and it's going to apply the 3 days of darkness. Hello, Amy. What up? What up? My original G's are here. My original gangstas. Because I'm going to do some messages and healing. If you come today and you do want some messages and healing, you're going to have to let me know in the comments. And I will, of course, be obliged, especially when God tells me, hey, do this one. But right now, I'm just setting the energy. I'm lighting some beautiful juniper sage and some Palo Santo. And I was talking a little bit about what we did yesterday. So in my live, if you came to my live yesterday, I talked about that since I birthed New Earth and we dried the Nile portal, the gates of heaven opened up. And those who work with me, energetically processed that it was time to process what once was. So every time I would take us through a portal, I would take us to Sequoia, where the redwood trees are. And those trees would always help us release our past, the past timelines, the past lives that we healed and called our power back from. And so we were called to do that again. I was called to take us there again yesterday. I talked about that during the live. I said, okay, I got to go to Sequoia. We didn't go to Sequoia, which was so cool because God said that California is transitioning right now. So we didn't go there. Instead, we went to the most northernest star in Northeast Asia, where redwoods all used to be very plentiful and abundant. And apparently that is true. I didn't know that to be true. I was like blown away. I'm like, where are we going? What are we doing? And I followed the most northern star. And I kept saying that there was a nomadic tribe once there until they were killed off and the land was taken and the trees were cut down. And they would do energetic openings to the northern star and use it as their guide at that time, like way back many lifetimes ago. And then afterwards, I did a little research on it, and it was very validating. The northern star is their most prominent star in the night sky in the Northeast Asia. They did really have redwood trees there, and they have become one of their biggest conservation efforts since they discovered their species there in 1943, I think it said. So next to pandas, that's one of their biggest conservation efforts. Now, the northern star, though, is part of like a pole for the galaxy, which was interesting because I didn't just process the Earth's past timeline. It was all of the planetary alignments as well. So that was big. That was beautiful. It was big, and I'll probably end up uploading that one. Maybe tomorrow, I don't know. But it was really cool, and it belongs in the Return of Christ work. So instead of going to Sequoia, God said that California is transitioning at this time. So what does that mean, right? And then we went to, but it also makes sense for the northern star because we aligned the poles too, and I processed like all of what the Earth once was. It was quite beautiful, right? It was quite beautiful. So before we get started today, can you guys hear the hum in the background? It is solar plexus hertz frequency because there's like this big pull with the DM and I in the solar plexus. And so because the Adam and Eve timelines joined on August 1st, I've been processing out all of that. Okay, you cannot. Okay, well, if you did, that's what it was. It's my Hertz app. And it's just 326 Hertz or something. So that's all that is. But I do have my settings set. I've called in the creator like I always do first, and then any angels that wish to join us. And we are open to receive healings and messages. This is a free space today, so I'm doing these as a gift for those who truly want to push past that shadow and receive something. However, if you're new and you feel the call to donate and you receive one, that's okay too. You can do that. But yeah, of course, I feel like we need the support right now. Like I'm telling you, since August 8th and 1st through 8th, I did all of that, birthing the new earth. There's big transitions for everybody right now. It's massive. The energy is quite intense and hard to grasp. If you are not accustomed to keeping your compass inward and understanding what your body is telling you, it can be overwhelming. It can be blinding, right? Like we can be like, like we don't know what to do with that. And like God told me yesterday that California is transitioning in the energy, and we can feel that. So there's the chills when I said that. Whoa, there's just a lot going on in the energy, right? And fear too, because of the collective. And fear is not of God; it's a shadow thing. So it's always a good thing to reach together in union of love and just help, right? And bring what we can bring when we need it the most. So that's what today is about. It really is. I'm to be of service. It's what I've been doing for 5 years, and I won't stop, right? Ever. On Facebook, I posted a big message about things, is that if we don't have a lens of unconditional love, it's going to be hard to make it through this portal. Okay. So that's what we always want. So no matter what comes up, if it's not unconditional love, Push that shit down. Push it out. Push it out. 4, 4, 4, 4. I've had 3, 3, 3s, 4s on this one and a lot. So push it out. Do not let anything but unconditional love be in your presence at this time. Do not. Because if you do, it will consume you. Because there's 2 worlds you could be in. One is the new earth and one is not the new earth. And if any of the karma and the shadow consume you, you're not going to make it through the portal. That's not fear-based. That's just the truth. I know what I've done. I know who I am. And I know what the 13 gates are. I know what the Nile portal is. I know what the return of Christ all was. The undoing of religion. There's like a lot of layers of healing that was required. So, yeah. Be very kind to yourself, okay? Be very kind. All right. First of all, like I said, there's a huge pull on my solar plexus. And I absolutely know it's because of this transition and the DM&I and all of that. So those that are directly connected to the new earth already probably feel what I'm feeling a little bit. If not, they will. So just keep in mind that whatever rises, you need to go within and push it out. And when I said that, somebody else left, at least according to YouTube's numbers. You guys, we have to do things differently in the new earth than we did in the old earth. Number 1, that's coming up right now. Yes. Yes. Yeah, so there's a lot of pain today. It's like choke holding me, like it's taking my breath away. And my solar plexus is like, there's like this huge pressure cooker ball is what it feels like right now. And I've been clearing it, but it's intense and it's not easily going away. Okay. So I recently published a book because there's a lot of information from the old earth, right? Here it is. I'm so proud of it. That was very, very, very misleading. From manifesting to co-creating. Nice. Really tired? You're lucky. You are lucky. There's like so much fear and so much everything I'm having to push out. Oh my good Lord Almighty. So feel blessed that all you are is tired. I feel like if you're directly connected to the twin flame stuff, it is heightened at this time. Woo, doggy. It is heightened at this time. And if it is only you guys that want to come and get messages and healings, then you know why I don't do this very often. You can only provide help so much. You know what I mean? People actually have to walk into it. So we'll see what happens. You never know. But this book I just published because, you guys, this is a key to New Earth. If you cannot manifest properly, co-create, and have your energy open at all times, you won't function in 7D. It's not 5D we're going into, it's 7D. Okay? I don't care if people say, oh, 12, it is a 12D Earth blueprint. Because my gut is on fire and it hurts. It's hard to breathe. It is a 12D blueprint because I took us further than we were originally supposed to go. We now have 5 new poles. The earth has transitioned very, very swiftly, very abruptly, and very, very powerfully. But at the baseline, if you can't at least meet 5D to 7D, you don't align. Okay. So you have to be balanced from the heart center, co-creating from there, and not governed by the shadow in any way, shape, or form. You have to be in pure sovereignty. Okay. There is a power struggle this week. Or nope. Sorry. This week ahead is pushing towards a power shift. That came through earlier in my Facebook message. We are in a major power shift this week ahead. And there is a big galactic shift coming in. And it is going to be quite jarring. Okay. So for those of us who are rising, we have to make sure that we focus on love. No matter what. Your compass has to be turned inward, and you cannot accept anything outside of love. No thoughts, no visuals, no actions towards anything but pure, sovereign, and love. Okay? More important now than ever before. More important now than ever before. So really quickly, I just want to pull a collective message. I feel like we're already kind of tuning into this full moon energy coming up. Awesome. Just saying you really need to dig into that heart space, but we're going to see what comes through today too, because all of you want healings and messages, right? I know Lisa said it first. Am I right? And then Jacinth did. Yeah, I'm seeing it now. Lisa said she'll gladly accept, and then Jacinth wanted one. Amy, you want one too, right? Okay. So we have Lisa, Jacinth, and Amy. But really quick, I'll pull for the collective. Okay. I'm hearing transitional phases. Lots of division. Lots of people separating, realigning, shifting. Mass awakening up front and center, I'm hearing. This is for the energies going forward. Today in particular, there is like almost like a pull. It's a power pull. So there's a power shift coming this week for sure. And I can feel it in the energy. Just a quick collective before I do healings and messages. If you want one, please comment. Let me know. They're free today. Okay. But I could feel this pull. There's a big power pull in the energy. Yes, just saying. Absolutely. So ideas will come in when we're at our openest channel, right? New ideas come in when we are aligned and our hearts open. And for you, you had a dream because that is when you're your purest channel and you're not in your head. So yes. But you know that. Why are you asking? You got to know this by now. Own your sovereignty, sunshine. Yes, you know that, don't you? You knew it was. You knew it was. And if you want validations, what can you do to get those validations? What can you do to get those validations? If you wanted to know, hey, Spirit, is this you telling me something? There's options, right? If you don't feel like you're a pure channel in that moment, what's the next go-to to get a message? What would you do? So if you have a dream, you know, I get dreams, powerful messages come through dreams quite often for people. Yeah, pull cards. And yeah, I mean, that's just, it's probably one avenue, right? I would put that in your pocket of one of the many, not the main solid thing. So that's probably more your creative avenues, right? But to validate those things, if you really want to know, you can ask your guides, right? You can ask your guides, pull some cards. If we don't feel like a clear channel, you guys know I've taught you to ask spirit, channel right, pull some cards, clear that channel, ground, number one, get grounded. If you're not grounded, that'll completely cause you to not be a clear channel. Okay. All right. So lots of people coming and going. I'm going to assume you're the only ones that want messages and healings right now. But really quick, I'm going to pull a collective card pull for this week ahead. Like I said, there's a power shift going on. Yep. Anything that arises, what are you supposed to do with it at this time? Does anybody know? Because it's coming out very loudly in the message. Very loudly. Whatever arises, inside or outside of you, what are you supposed to do with it at this time? Oh, we're done with this deck. Go to this one. Also, you need to upgrade tools and modalities, and people in the matrix are getting cut off from the light as we speak. Yes, but there's more to it than that. Sitting with it's good, but what do you want to do with it? You're just going to rise above it? Not all the way. Sometimes we have to rise above it. Ask. Yeah. Dig into that. Dig into it. Dig into what it is. Dig into the layers of it. Take off the masks with it. Ask Spirit what it is. Feel into your body until it is fully released. And that is part of rising above it. But it's more complex than just rising above it. Sometimes, first of all, it's recognizing it. Recognize there's something going on within you and outside of you that's not right. When things are not quite working out, when something doesn't feel right in your body or in your outer world, or if there's like chaos coming at you, right? Things that are triggering you, key word right there. You stop, drop, and roll. You got to dive into your body until you find the key point inside. That's that internal compass. And this is Jesus's teachings, right? This is what we teach all the time. So it's the internal compass. You have to dive into your body, find exactly the location it's taking you to, and there might be multiple. So it might start with like this pressure in your chest, and because once you realize your external environment is telling you something, you go within to figure it out, right? Or your internal environment. They're two of the same because we are components from the inside out. So you go into your body just like I was doing. It was like in my throat, then it would go to my heart, then it would go to my solar plexus, and then it would shoot back up to my chest and my throat. And it was just a constant going back and forth to those areas, asking to see it, asking to release the ties to it. And you do it until it's cleared. Okay. Until the solution shows, until it's cleared, until you're regrounded and balanced and open in the energy again. These are key components. Okay. I'm not done. I need to pull from this deck as well for this week, and then we'll get into the messages and healings. It's no surprise to me that you guys are the only ones here right now. I was hoping more would be, but there's been a lot of resistance. And when I do healings on you, it is true deep healing. So there's always resistance. So just push past it. Amazing things happen when we push past that resistance. It's also going to be what's required to make it in through this portal. Being able to push past any resistance, dig deep into your body with it, just like I talked about, and choose unconditional love only. Everything is a reflection of you, inside and out. All right. So these are what the cards say. I have the same message coming through in at least two different decks. So we have go deeper, just like I just talked about. This week is a power shift. Okay. It is your job to have an inward compass, meaning everything that shifts on the outside, everything that occurs on the outside, go within your body and release the components it relates to. You're going to feel things when you tune in. Okay. When you tune into your body, you're going to start to feel things. And as they rise, you don't just sit with it. If I could sit with the pain all day long and it's not going to go anywhere. And sometimes I could try to rise above and it ain't going anywhere because I have to dig deeper. And Saint knows exactly what I'm talking about because she has had to do this multiple times on her journey. Because the shadow, you have to dig through the layers. Consider everything is layered. Those cards where they tell you to take off the masks? That's what it's talking about. Okay, so if I say, for instance, if I'm a procrastinator and I keep seeing that play out, I need to dig into why I do that. Yes, just saying it's how to do that. Dig deeper. This is what I commonly tell you guys in our personal group. Dig. It means to go into your body and take that energetic shovel and dig through the feelings. Dig through whatever it is. Whatever. It could be major fear rising, major anxiety attack. They don't teach you this in psychology. Sometimes they'll get into it little bits. I don't care what it is. Just dig into it. Start digging into the layers. You're going to find out that it's much more complex than just a simple word, right? Even anxiety. This is what I try to, if you're in anxiety, it's because your compass is not inward. Your body's trying to tell you something. We can have muscle memories, energy memories, these kinds of things. So it's this is the message for the collective for this week ahead. Okay, this is so important. And if you're not here to listen to what's being said, you might miss something important, because I brought the return. I brought what you're about to watch play out in the earth, and some will rise and some won't. Okay, so these are very important messages for those who wish to rise. So we go deeper through the layers of the why, what, when, where, and how, and we reveal to the bottom of what needs to be seen. Okay, and I was saying this before I pulled the cards, didn't I? You also must trust the universe. You must trust things, because right now your higher self is going to be more in charge than you are, no matter who you are on this planet. Because some will go, some will stay, and some will never know life this way. We are in the final portal of time. And if you watched my videos, you'll start to understand the brevity of what that means, because, when we die, we go through a portal, right? That portal of light to the other side. And we always have to do that review of life and then let go of what doesn't go with us. Okay. So right now, because of this transition being what it is within the earth, your higher self is in charge. Okay. Because people will probably try to fight some things, right? People may not like their outcome once they have an awakening truly into what is happening. And so there will be things in the world right now we will try to do, and they won't work. And this was in the message in Facebook as well, because you can't do things the way you once did anymore. 70, it won't work that way. You cannot take the matrix with you. And right now there's a clear separation. Okay. So we have to trust the universe, give over some of that control. Trust that they have your best interest at hand. And what you can do is go into your body, go deeper into the layers, and reveal what needs to be seen. So dig through it. Dig through it. You can't just sit with it and rise above. You won't heal anything. Sometimes you can do that. Like when the shadow comes in, you can do that. But you need to get to the bottom of it. Yeah. People will try to distract and tell you differently. Yep. Need to go within and listen to your heart and your gut to move forward. Yeah. You got to dig into, because everything's that reflection of you. 3-2-3-2-3-2 when I said that. So you got to dig through the layers of what is happening and why, so that you can completely remove it. Because in order to rise into the new earth, we have to remove these things. They cannot stay within you. Okay. And that's step up and lead. Just like what Amy just said too. Are you going to let other people tell you what to do, or tell you what you're doing is wrong, or tell you better go do this so that you fit in with the collective? Now is not the time to fit in with those around you. Because if you do that, you're going to blind all of you. This is why when people have an awakening, they become separated sometimes from people. They feel alone, right? Because you can't see clearly when you're conjunct with other people's energies, and they will try to influence you through their shadow. 33, 22, 3-2. Lots of 3s and 2s here. So you have to step up and be the leader of your reality. We are going to different places. 3-3-3-3, 3-3-3-2, 3-2. Very relevant. 3s and 2s right there with that message. Because this is not a codependent relationship anymore. We are all going. So with the Great Reset, you guys, you have to understand something. The earth was designed for a karmic play out. These are what karmic contracts would talk about. We have soul ties within those karmic contracts. That's why it was so important not to cut those soul ties, not to cut karmic contracts. This is something you need to hear very diligently. I don't care who you are. That's what a lot of light workers were doing. And this is why a lot of light workers and star seeds were not able to be the light of God. Okay. Because they weren't all choosing outside of the shadow either. Okay. A lot of people weren't. It will try to get you to cut karmic contracts, because we used to be able to come back another lifetime and take care of that. So when, as the master healer that I am, I'm a medium, I'm everything, and I teach people how to do that. I see the totality of the creation of life. That's who I am. Okay. I've seen souls being born and created and changed. It's who I am. So our karmic contracts are other soul ties on the other end of those. Okay. Where in our lifetimes, we need to learn lessons in unconditional love. It's where the shadow has gotten in and caused us to go outside of unconditional love towards somebody else or towards ourselves. And our karmic ties are your family, your friends, relationship statuses, even job relationships can be a part of those. And that's what you'll hear, karmic relationships to soul relationships, okay? In karmic relationships, it's never about they're not meant to last. They're meant to teach you lessons. Okay. And there was a lot of star season light workers that were cutting your contracts and burning them. And I kept telling you, don't do that, because you cannot rise into the new earth if you did that. You had to learn your karmic lessons. That's the ascension. It's returning to Christ, returning to the wholeness of who we are as a soul, where we've learned all lessons and we're finally ready to rise into unconditional love, where we realize the world is a reflection of us. We're no longer throwing judgments. We're completely loving ourselves. We're loving others. And we realize the world is a reflection of us as a tool to use to heal inside, because we're all connected. Okay. Life and karma was about learning unconditional love. And as a great reset, you no longer have that avenue. Earth will never be your karmic playout again. I took that away. All Christ returned. Earth cannot be a karmic playout anymore. So where you once used to be able to get rid of soul ties, and you would have your life review when you would die, and you would come back the next lifetime to clear whatever karma or soul purposes that you didn't succeed at clearing the time before. This is why people would have many lifetimes. And this is why they would call Earth school. Very difficult to learn. You would have to come here and learn unconditional love by the lessons through karmic playouts. Is this making sense? So in the return of Christ, you had to learn all of those lessons once and for all in order to rise into heaven on earth. And if you don't, then you won't stay here. Because in a great reset, all those soul ties are undone. All those karmic playouts are undone. You will not be able to learn them here anymore. That's why the final days is a karmic playout. The return of Christ brought a karmic playout. And if you watch all the pyramid activations, the Nile activation videos that I've done, Horus returning, I continually, and even in the anointing of the blood of Christ when I brought that down, and the resurrection of Christ when I united that and undid the Holy Grail, we kept telling you it's a karmic shift. You will no longer be able to come to earth to cleanse out your karma. You either fall with it, or you will get to go to the other side and clear some there, which will take a lot longer. And then those that actually cleared it all and were able to see through every lens into unconditional love, all the 12 gates of tribulations, will be able to stay. Because you cannot clear your karma here anymore. And there was lots of star seeds and light workers and healers that were cutting those ties. Granted, we used to be able to do that, but that was the shadow playing out through them. Okay, so if you think the shadow wasn't in the spiritual community, think again. There was a lot of twin flames that didn't unite, a lot of star seeds and light workers that weren't seeing clearly to the totality of what was required of them to see. So that's why God ordered a great reset. So no matter what, okay, it's not about a codependent relationship right now. We got to be independent. You have to step up and be the leader of your life right now, because no matter where you go, we are changing soul ties. There's no longer a karmic playout of a planet anymore. Okay, 7D is not a karmic playout. It's a very high frequency heaven on earth. All of the Garden of Eden, right? So we must be free of those shackles that bind and those lessons outside of unconditional love. I hope that makes sense of it all. And that speaks of revelations and everything, and what God would talk about on the testaments, right? It's just unconditional love, because that's what God is. But they didn't teach you that, did they? They taught you he judges and all this kind of stuff. And repent. Can you imagine the fear that would create for people just going, please forgive me? And they don't realize that it's truly about forgiving yourself and loving yourself unconditionally and loving all others unconditionally and being able to see and rise out of anything that's not that. Now, the reason this week you need to go deeper within you is because that's how you're going to heal all of the layers of what created that karma. And we don't have time left, right? So make sure you're digging deep this week, because there's a power shift coming. It's very big. Major, like, in your face type stuff. So you have to reveal what needs to be seen within your body. That's that internal compass. Step up and be the leader of your world, because just like Amy said, lots of people are going to try to tell you otherwise. They're going to try to boss you around. They're going to try to tell you what to do. And that's a karmic tie. Every person in your reality was a karmic lesson to be learned some way, somehow. Okay. So you need to trust the universe, trust your internal compass, trust your body, dig deeper, reveal what needs to be seen in the layers, and step up and be in charge of your own life. Nobody can be telling you what to do. If you're in a relationship where you have to ask for permission, that's a karmic relationship. That is not a soul tie like twin flame or anything like that. It's different than working together, right? Nobody can govern you. Nobody and anything can govern you. Not fear, not money, not ego, not justifications, not greed. Okay? So work through your fears this week, because fear is going to be the biggest blinder. And just like yesterday, we weren't able to go to California for Sequoia because God said California is transitioning. There are things that are going to happen on this earth we cannot allow to take us to our focus to Him. We have to still choose love, not fear. Okay. And it's going to be there. It's going to be there. Go in your body and reveal the layers to it. Release it once and for all. Prosperity is the new earth. Prosperity lies ahead. Okay. This is interesting to me, because I'm like, why are things like not working right now in my reality? And it's because we are transitioning. The only abundance and prosperity will be in the new earth. This is a transitional phase. It's not like we're going to have two conjunct realities. Only one will stay. Okay. So true prosperity is found through the 13 gates. That is in new earth. That's why I have the book. It talks about how to really manifest, how to co-create, how to be balanced from the heart center. You guys, that's why I did this book. Okay. It's new earth manifesting. It's not through what they've taught you. It's not. These guys, Amy, Lisa, and Jasaint, have been in my courses and going through this stuff for years now. They know it's a lot more complex. It's only complex because you have to undo what they've taught you. Once you get to that point where you're that pure channel and you're open in the heart center and you're in balance and your compass is inward and your vibration is not matching like money and things, because that's very low, right? There's no laws. What is the one block to manifesting? Can anybody tell me? You also must show the world the real you. Okay? You have to work through your fears. You cannot be codependent. You have to be the leader of your life right now. Thank you. Beautiful. Boom. Lack is the only block to manifesting. Anywhere there's lack. What is lack? Define lack within you and you'll have the answers. Prosperity comes from these places, okay? You have to be completely sovereign. You have to be the observer, not the spectator, okay? The Matrix teaches you to be a spectator. Your compass is not inward as a spectator. It's outward, okay? So this is the energy for this week ahead. And then I'm going to do healings and messages. So you have to show the world the real you. If you're afraid to be truthful about who you are and what's happening, you could be pulled down from where you need to go. And you don't want that. Yep, you got to let go of anything lack. Lack is complex. Lack is not believing in yourself. Lack is in fear. Lack is in like, oh my God, I got to pay my bills. I got to focus on money. I got to go to work even though I hate my job. And I know I feel this pull against it, but I got to go to work. That's lack because you don't believe in yourself as a creator. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay. So you have to work through the fears that are about to rise because the world is about to crumble before your eyes. But we don't want to focus on that. We want to focus on love. And which isn't that sounds weird, right? Like you tell me I'm not supposed to focus on the demise and things. No, doesn't mean you're selfish at all. We're going to different places for those that are rising, okay, through what I've done. So dig deeper, reveal what it is that your body's telling you. It's always layered. Please don't sit with it right now. We need to dig through those layers. Talk to your body, talk to the emotions, release it out, ground like crazy. That's to go deeper. Reveal what needs to be seen. Step up and lead. Do not be a follower. Be the leader that's in you. You have to. You have to be willing to separate from those who cannot let you be you. It's not like you know how sometimes religion will tell you, you have to be this or you have to be that or we will shun you. Please don't listen to that. That's what you need to run from. If I can't be myself right now and do what my soul is telling me to do, then I'm giving my power away to the shadow. That's lack. That means I'm afraid that you won't love me if I'm myself. That's karmic relationship. Making sense? Okay, so work through whatever comes up, all right? You have to trust the universe. Prosperity is what's going to lie ahead for those that can do this work, all right? Have hope. We lost hope sometimes along the way, but why wouldn't we when everything's been a big freaking lie? And there has been a lot of bloodshed and a lot of sorrow and a lot of unnecessary hurt and pain for everybody. A lot of division. Those things are painful to our soul at a soul level. And we are going to feel that. And so make sure you have hope and focus on trusting the universe and focus on that love. Okay. And gratitude. Why gratitude? Gratitude, love, joy. Those are the quickest things outside of lack to get you what you want and what you need. And they can be hard to get to in the thick of the yuck. So that's why you got to dig out of anything that's not that. Okay. These are your absolute keys to everything. Okay. And then you got to co-create and be in balance from the heart center. Release. See, different decks telling you the same thing over and over this week ahead. This is a very important message. All right. Perception. Didn't I tell you it's about taking off the masks? Okay. You have to realize what is real and what is not. The shadow has very big manipulative ties, many, many, many lies, to the point where even with the truth, people can't see it. So whatever is going on inside and out, you need to dig through the false layers and into the truth. Okay? You need to get a clear perspective and a perception change. That doesn't happen in here. Psychology will teach you to analyze, to think. Don't do that. You're not going to have your power back from your mind. Get into your heart, dig through the layers, no matter how difficult those emotions may be, no matter how deep the ties are, you have to do it. And once you heal everything that is tied to that karmic lesson, your perception will change. You will get a new perspective. You will see clearly. That's why God said, rule of thumb, if you can't see everything, there's work to do. Okay? In order to get the perspective and the perception change, you have to heal the layers within your heart. Kind of different than what they teach you. I have a psychology degree. I know this. Trust me. They will tell you to analyze. They will tell you to think about it. They will tell you to sit with it. They will tell you to do all of these things. But if you don't go within that feeling, whether it be in your gut and in your heart, in your arms, your body tells you different things. And it's all purposeful. That's why medications will block them out and you're lost. Okay? This week is the most important part of this ascension that you're going to face. It's massive. These energies are going to push things out in you didn't know existed. And it's going to be your job to go into it and dig that stuff out in here, not here. This is trouble. This is where that's the shackles that bind. That is the collective mind think. That's why I don't like the word mindful, because it is full of a lot of other energies that are not yours. This is harder to hear through this. Okay? So you'll never get your answers here. When you dig through here and you dig and you release and you dig and you release and you heal and you let it go, you set it free, you want to see, you dig and you dig out those masks. Once it's done, you will get a new way of seeing the world. That's a massive key. Massive. And it's one that they're not teaching everywhere they need to be. Okay, any questions on that? Very important message for the collective this week ahead. Very. You will not get your answers in your head. Only in your heart. And anything that comes up in your outside environment that tries to entice you into the matrix. Well, you're an idiot. You need to just focus on this, and you need to go to work, and you don't have time for this shit. And don't be guided by your heart. Have you ever heard that one? Your heart will lead you into trouble. That was a big way of control, because our heart is everything. That's where God is. Mysticism believes that we are all connected. Here we are. That's God. There's no division. Okay? God will be found here. So you have to dig through every layer that's about to rise in your heart this week. And if you can't, that's the only thing that will leave you astray. And until you dig through all the layers of what you're feeling in your body, you will not get a clear perspective or an understanding of what is happening. Once the lesson is healed here, you see it clearly here. It's not this first, then that. It's this first, and then it'll be boof, an awakening there. You don't have to worry here. You have to feel here, every layer. Okay? I say that with oomph because it's going to take that, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy because it's been a battle for your soul. That's that spiritual warfare. That's what they've been doing to you. That's why the veil was there. That's why they had you praying to a false god. God's real, but he is not the carnage and the bloodshed and the sacrificial lamb that they taught you he was. He's unconditional, very high vibrational love. Okay? Everything is felt, not thought. And this is against modern mental health. I teach this a lot in everything I do. All right. I hope y'all get that. No questions came in on that. So I assume everybody gets it and they're ready to go this week, because this is the biggest transitional phase you will never experience again. You will never be able to come back here for a karmic cleansing. Earth has changed. It is not your karmic play out anymore, which is why you had to heal all karma, not cut and burn those ties. It's a great reset of mankind, seventh wave of creation. You know how in history you would have all of these, like Egyptians disappeared. They really don't know the totality of what wiped them out. Romans disappeared. Seventh wave of creation playing out. Okay, it's a great reset. So the world is about to shift. What wipes people out? Plagues, disasters, the earth. She knows what to do. But you have to consider the virus matrix wall. That's not God. Okay? It's the virus matrices. Which is why in the path to righteousness, I healed those out of your body. So those that actually took the work that I brought through have blessings of that. They won't be affected by everything else. Everybody else will. All right, my friends. People come and go. Who's ready for their messages? Who's here? It says only 2 are here. I know Lisa was first, then Jacinta and Amy, and that's the only ones that have asked for healing and messages. I see you. Good. See, YouTube lies. It says only 2 of you are here. So you guys, this is a place to come and actually truly get healing and messages today. If you want to donate, not you guys already diligently do all the work that I provide. Show up to everything. You've already exchanged enough. So those that work with me, for sure, I wouldn't take one from you. But if you're new and you want one and you feel like donating, donate. If you don't feel like donating and you just want a message, then do it. If you can't afford it, it is what it is. But, when exchanges are there of some sort, even communication exchanges, right? Most people even have a hard time with that. They help you. Exchanges are powerful. All right, I lost my solar plexus music, so I'm bringing it back on. Hang on. I'm like, what happened? There it goes. All right. My benefit. I don't know what's going on with the DM. I love them dearly, but it's like, whoo, there's a lot going on, you guys. Oh my God. The stuff I do is very real. Okay. Very real, very layered, and it's a lot of processing. I'm just making sure I've got the right decks out here. Lisa's first. Excuse me. I burp a lot when I tune in. For those that are new, that's just some of us healers do that, right? We have to release somehow, some way. Sometimes I'll even release your symptoms for you. So, like, I did a healing on my daughter, and it was like mass tears just flew out of me, and she didn't cry a tear. And it was hers, and she was like, whoa. And my son, he cried his own tears. It just depends. All right, hang on. Ooh, this is a rough transition, y'all. I'm here for you. Trust me, I've got all the keys because it's my path. I know it's fast, and I know it's not easy, and I know it's sad, but it's also joyful. Okay, we have an opportunity to do something we've never done before, and that's return to pure sovereignty, pure joy, pure abundance, heaven on earth. Let that be your guide. Okay. All right. So Lisa's first. Lisa, I will do whatever Spirit calls me to do. I know I said I'll do messages and healings. I mean, I'm just going to tune in. I do both sometimes, so it'll just be both, okay? If you want one, you just have to comment. That's it. Lisa's first, and just Saint, then Amy. Okay, hang on. I will tune in. I will give you a message, and if healing is required, we will just do healings as well. Okay. It always goes through both. No matter what I do in healings, there's always messages applied. So, yeah. If you want just a message, you're welcome to ask for that too. If it's what you want is to have both and just say me. Okay. I'm going to assume Lisa, Amy, and Just Saint know exactly how I operate, and they are open to them all. Because they have worked with me for the past few years at least. They know how it goes. All right. Yes, that's what I thought. Okay. I'm just getting all the decks out because there's different energies, and with different energies, different decks will be applied. Wish I could pull from my new deck, but it's almost done. It's almost done. Oh, it's such an operation. I'm self-published, so everything I do from scratch. It's crazy. Okay, Lisa, I have the animals here for you. You are at a crossroads in your energy. I heard conjunct. So what I feel like is you are like in between a directions. Perfect. All right. So Lisa's first. So I'm just going to do the message, and we'll go right into the healing. Just be patient. Bear with whatever comes through. You can always receive too. Okay. So just be open for whoever you are. Okay. Yes. All right. So you are at a crossroads is what I heard. So I heard like the word conjunct, and then I see you standing at a crossroads. And you know that guy that like was at the crossroads and he ended up selling his soul for music? I don't know who he was, but the song was good. But I feel you're at a crossroads, and there's things that are being hidden in disguise, Lisa. And the first card that came out is be loyal. Okay. Be loyal to what you love. But I know that you have seen that, right? But I feel like there's more hidden in disguise. Do not repeat lessons. It's time to finally let them go, and it's going to be hitting you. Boom, boom, boom. Like a boom, boom, boom. There's 3 booms. Boom, boom, boom. Kaboom, boom, boom. And lots of chills when I say that. And I do not want to hear you say, I know. Please do not say that, because you don't know. I feel like you're going to say, yeah, I know, but that will blind you. Okay. Because that means like you're expecting. And if that happens, you're going to think it's going to come a certain way, but it won't. They have to be in disguise. Okay. So you won't know. You're going to have boom, 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 and it's going to play out in rapid fire. Okay. Be loyal to what you love, and you won't know what's coming. You don't see it coming purposely. Okay. And even now, do not assume. What you need to do is be inward, just feeling your body. Anything that comes up, don't be in here. Go into here. The lesson, the message for this week ahead is your guide. Okay, does that make sense? There's one more card from the animal, and then I have a releasing card, and then we'll just go into your healing. Okay, be loyal to what you love, no matter what. All right, this big beautiful dog right here. We are dog lovers. This big beautiful dog. We do animal healings too, you know. Oh yeah. All right, so then I have a lot of people constantly tell me, I know, and then it'll hit them and they won't know and they won't see it. Okay. Lisa, I told you the one thing you needed to do is not to be in your head. Do not think ahead. Do not think you know. What do you have to do? Be here and now only. Now, here, and nowhere at the same time. Does that make full sense? Now, here. Can't think 5 minutes ahead. Can't think 5 minutes ago. Please don't do that. Don't think you know, because you won't. You won't. These are lessons you've played out, okay? Repeated before, so they always get you. You know what I mean? And right now is the time you got to let them go, and they're going to be consecutive. Boom, boom, boom. 3. The way through is to be here right now. Nowhere else. Now, here, and nowhere. That means you're not thinking, you're feeling. You're not thinking, you're feeling. That is something you don't like to do, because sometimes it makes you feel vulnerable and uncomfortable. But now is the time you have to, okay? And don't think you know, because you don't know. That will blind you. That's not an observer. That's a spectator. Okay? And I notice that comes up sometimes with you. I'll go to tell you, like, oh, no, I already got it. And I'm like, not all the way. So make sure you're here in the now, not thinking, not spectating, observing. That means you're not thinking, you're feeling everything. And that's hard for you. I know you don't like that all the time, because that's where it hits home. You know what I mean? All right. That's hard for everybody, most people, actually. This is why not everybody will choose to ascend. Okay. Not everybody likes to see what's right smack in their face. Not everybody likes to see the truth. Not everybody likes to feel the truth of their emotions. They'll run. They were taught to run. They were taught to mask. They were taught to dilute, and they were taught to lie. And that is why they won't rise. So we have a surrendering card here, and then we'll get right into your healing. And I'll try to make these pretty quick healing so that we're not all here all night waiting for ours, okay? Yep. Okay, so we have surrender, denial. Accept people and situations is that exactly how they are. That's also hard, because sometimes we want people to be a certain way. We want to put on those rose-colored glasses, including for ourselves. So we have to accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. This is exactly what I was telling you in the message, okay? Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. Do not react. Hard when things hit our emotions hard, okay? And this is that play out. Surrendering to the beauty of the natural world. and surrendering the drama. Big one. No matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm. That's what that means, right? But people are going to hear drama and take it like a dagger. But it's not that. It's just remaining calm no matter what is playing out. Because if you can't sit with things no matter what is playing out, you won't see clearly, right? We won't be able to feel clearly. And emotions can be blinding because they can be like, until we've learned what they're saying, okay? So staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. Yeah. All right. And surrender denial, you have to accept the difficulties. Once you're willing to accept difficulties and not like try to run and avoid them, it can be much easier. Remember to be loyal to what you love and be here and now. Do not think. You have to feel. Feel everything through. Feel and dig it through. Feel and dig it through. Okay? On to your healing. All right. I'm hearing message from loved ones as I'm tuning in to do the healing here. So this was my deck messages. I think you have this one too, right? Yeah. So you're familiar with this. So there is this energy in you where it's like you're so eager to be done with them at lessons. I'm eager to be done with the lessons. I feel like I should already be done with them. So you think you already know. So you have to be and you do that to me sometimes, and this is out of love. But if we don't see that, it's like you won't be able to sit still with it, right? You're just going to be like, nope, because you're trying to tell yourself you've already mastered that. But you haven't yet, okay? So don't worry. Don't think. Don't worry. Feel. Co-create that way, okay? And this is about learning to communicate correctly. Yeah. You're tired because it's like the hamster running around in the wheel. You're not balanced. You're not, forever a learner. We'll even learn in the new earth. Okay. Just different lessons, not karmic. So forever a learner. There's no end to that. We don't want it. My grandmother used to say, when there's no more lessons to learn, you have no more life to live. And that was my grandma. So there's this energy of like needing to learn to communicate better, right? Needing to learn on a mass level. Okay. I feel like sometimes you want to be ahead of the game. You want to be the one, and that will not serve you. Okay. So the more you sit in stillness, the more you learn your body, the better off you'll be. Okay. And I think to not let anything take you away from what you love, but that can be hard when you're really in the thick of it. Okay. So no matter how difficult, surrender that denial and do not play into any drama around you. Oh, do not. I don't care what is happening. And don't judge anybody either. There's energy of that too. Don't do that. Just sit. You don't have to think. You don't have to think you know everything. You're not meant to. That's not the lessons. And I feel like you try so hard to, but you're never meant to really get there. Forever a learner. Okay? All right. So I'm calming the energy. I need to draw in the sunlight. You are out of balance. You're not in balance from the heart center, and you're not fully aligned with the sun. So what I need to do is, because this week can be very jarring for you, and I don't want you to think that you know what's coming, because trust me, you won't, okay? Be still. Be still. You don't have to get ahead of it. That's not going to help you. You're going to have to sit with it and observe, be the observer, and dig and heal, okay? That's what until you get a clear perspective. You won't think it through. You're going to have to feel your way through it, okay? But I need to bring in the path of sun, because somehow you veered off the path of the sun. We're never done, okay? There's never an end. We don't want an end. those that are rising, we don't want to end. Okay. So what I see is I'm bringing the sun in front of you and I'm laying that path out again. And I'm kind of clearing your path. So I almost have to use like what looks like windshield wipers and kind of cleanse your lens. I have to cleanse your lens. So no expectations and no assumptions. Just because I do something does not mean you know what it means, right? Like, don't ever assume, oh, I'm done. I did everything I need to do. I'm tired. You're tired because you're running in circles and you're trying to get ahead of things. Don't do that. If you're inward and you're in the here and the now, you won't wear out. You won't. Spirit will only give you what you need at the time you need it, and then in between, it's a rest time. You have to be in your body, and you're constantly in your head. So I've brought in the path of the sun. You have to follow the path of the sun. It's never a power control. It's not about you gaining power over that sun. You'll never get ahead of it. No. Ever. Ever. You can't. That's a power control from the days of Eve. It's in the shadow energy. That's part of the shadow, right? That's part of karmic playouts and things. We always want to get ahead of. It's like arguing to argue. It's like trying to be the spectator. Like, is the moment somebody's talking to you, like you have a rebuttal, right? Like it's like, like no, I did it, and that's just because our compass is not inward. We're not sitting. We're spectating rather than observing. It's just about learning within right now. Also, I'm tuning into your solar plexus and I hear recalibration is required. So there's something going on there because we just dealt with that yesterday a little bit too. And so I'm like, okay, is it because maybe you're releasing? I don't know. It could be, right? Sometimes we need to recalibrate when we do that. Either way, I need to recalibrate your solar plexus. So again, your compass is not inward. You're constantly trying to get ahead of, and you're constantly trying to like outsmart things. That will not be the way through. But I think at times you're just taught that's like matrix mind, right? Learning from the matrix, learning through books, learning through things like that, rather than feeling your way through. You have to forgive me because something's going on with my solar plexus because I'm at DM. So I'm trying to bypass all of that. So I'm going a little slower. Yep. You need inward compass applied, internal discernment. Feeling. Does this feel like love? Not thinking. You got to slow down, be in the here and the now, not thinking ahead. You got to stop thinking. That I feel like is your biggest hurdle. I don't feel like you ever meditated to get to that point enough, right? Like took that full control of the mind back. So you have to be very, very aware of that. You don't want to be in your head. It's never about getting ahead of. It's about diving into feeling, body. You've been taught so diligently to be outside of that. Whoa, that was a deep release from the solar plexus right there. That was crazy deep. I felt it from deep in my gut. So there is some energy that I feel like you're blocking a little bit. Maybe not intentionally. I don't know. I feel like you're just guarded. but the wrong kind of guarded. So boundaries are different than guarding. They're different than that wall that's up. This is a familiar wall. And you have to be willing to be maximum vulnerable, maximum out of your comfort zone, because you're still not balanced in a co-creative state yet. It doesn't come from the head. Joy is felt rather than thought as well. Like, I know you know some of that. I know you feel some joy. That's part of it. But there's like more to it. There's more to it. There's more to your purpose and path that you aren't seeing yet. Because there's this wall in your heart. It's like a brick wall. And from my new deck, I have this card that's popping up and has said, rigidity is not serving. Let me get that card for you so I can show you. It says, rigidity is not serving. Oh, look at that. It's number 12. 12 is a good number. You look at the patterning. It's about the circle of life, the flow of life, right? Constant flowing. I feel like your focus has been on making sure you get to that end goal. And that's not where you want to be at all. We don't want it to end. Right? We want to keep flowing and growing. And you're tired because you're in your head working so hard. So it's a little different. So I got to break this wall down. Being rigid, being guarded is not going to serve you at all. No boundaries. Remember the boundaries course, being open and flowing and being willing to be uncomfortable and vulnerable and owning your truth. And I feel like you do that. I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying you don't own your truth. I'm not saying you don't choose love. You do. You absolutely do. But there is a wall here. You don't like to feel certain things. You get pissed off. That's the wrath. And that's the portal of the Nile. And again, I'm not like, you don't necessarily get pissed off at other people. Sometimes you get mad at yourself. And so it's just that energy that it's like, don't worry about who, don't worry about blame. Don't worry about any of that. Worry about understanding the emotion, the trigger, and digging into it once and for all of the layers that it took to create it, and releasing it out with love. Thank it for serving for the purpose it did. Everything is about love and growth. Never about judgment or about who's better than who. That's matrix stuff. And I feel like you were taught that. That's like deep-rooted programming. And I feel like I'm getting some of the brick wall down. So internal compass, I'm having a hard time recalibrating your compass inward. There's still things within you don't like to feel, and you don't have time. It's okay. And I feel like I don't want to be emotional, and don't worry about things. Like, you just got to let things go. You got to be willing to just be absolutely vulnerably naked. And it's okay. There's actually strength in being vulnerable and naked from the inside out. There's strength in that. Absolutely. And I got chills. That's not a weakness. That's a strength. That goes right up the masculine side and your energy too. And I feel like the brick wall just went. And I'm balancing out your root chakra a bit. Your liver and kidneys need to also be a little bit detoxed. You know how you said you're tired? I feel like you're stressing yourself out because that's in your energy. There's a stress enzyme that is dominant in your liver and a little bit into your kidneys at this time. And it's also in your heart muscle a little bit. So I'm going to clear that out. I feel like you stressed yourself into a frenzy. There's worry, which is because your compass is not inward. You look at the world from this perspective of the mind, and you need to look at it from how your body feels. And that is where you don't feel comfortable. You were not taught to do that. No. You were far from taught to do that. And I get a lot of chills. And your compass just went whoop, almost all the way. I feel like I have a quarter of a turn left to get your compass internal. So let's see what else is going on here. I'm back into your actual heart, not your chakra. I need to go to your heart muscle. There's an enzyme present, and I'm going into your aortic valve a little bit here, and I just need to detox it. And it's attached to the liver. It's not filtering out like bile and waste properly. So there is a vitamin K deficiency, vitamin A deficiency, and you can definitely go with some zinc. Okay, so take some zinc but if we can't absorb these things, right, like you can take all you want to take. So you've got to calm the body, calm and relax. There's no race to win. The thing about that is you'll constantly feel like you're racing against time unless your compass is in your body. If you're listening to your body, there's no time that you'll miss. Does that make sense? Whoa, that was a nice release. It's starting to go, but I can feel a little bit of hesitation still. There's something within your body you don't like to see. It's hidden. And as I said that, I went through my throat, and my throat is kind of closing up, and I'm going into my heart, my chakra. And it's like that nails on a chalkboard feeling. Like I feel like I'm going to come into a scary, scary movie. And I don't feel like scary movies necessarily scare you. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like there's like this hidden secrets. There's secrets inside you, and you become very guarded because you don't want to see those. You don't want others to see those. You don't want to see those and own those. And maybe this comes from the religious standpoint in the collective where we're judged. And maybe you were judged as a child, but that's not, no. Nobody's perfect. Everybody has wounds and secrets. Oh, yeah. And that's okay. Hiding those, God sees the totality of your heart, but it's up to you to accept the same. Fear. It's like this broken wreck. Fear. I get in it, and it's like fear. You tell yourself a lot of things. You have to be very careful with that. Again, you don't know. Be the observer, not the spectator. There's no way you can know everything. I don't know why. Like that to you feel like you have to have all the answers to learn the lessons, and that's not it at all. That's an ego thing. Don't compare yourself, right? Like that's commonplace. We like to compare ourselves to others, but the way we master things is learning that it's never about getting ahead of or fully understanding. It's about observing and feeling and digesting and being and letting that compass be your guide. Yeah. Okay, your compass just went a little bit further. It's almost aligned, but there's still some hidden treasures. These are not things that I would divulge, but I'm going to cause you to be a leaking faucet. They have to come out. The skeleton's in your closet. I'm going to open it up, and all of these bones are just going to be like, and you're going to have no choice but to be vulnerable, look at them head on, and be loyal to love. There's that card again. Learn, this is what keeps you outside of yourself. There's things that you don't want to see. And it's almost like trying to like blame other things. The thing about the thing is, in order to hear spirit, they're so quiet. They're so subtle. And unless you're on the inside and still, you're not hearing spirit, which is why a lot of times you're still governed by the shadow. Because there's this area you're afraid of going into in your emotional state, in the truth of your soul. It's almost like, I just want to be loved and I want to be considered perfect. That's an illusion. God does not see that way. Love is not that way. Unconditional love is not perfection. Perfection comes from tough love type stuff. It's not true love. That goes with that. There's potential in you. Oh, pish posh, kiss my white ass, right? Love my imperfections. How do you love your imperfections? Oh, that one's hitting home. I feel like I just threw the door wide open and I'm looking into your heart space, and there's like this hidden shadow within there, and it's like cowering down. It likes to hide. It likes to cower. It doesn't want to be seen. It doesn't want to be seen. It's like you don't want to own these things. For some reason, you feel like you will be judged. It's vulnerable. I don't like it. It's like ripping off the Band-Aid. There's a whack. Stop wasting time. Stop running. Stop trying to bypass. Stop trying to get there through the mind. So the thing about being triggered often is because we're hiding emotions we don't want to see. This is within you. This has nothing to do with anybody else. This is your truth. And there went your compass. And it hurts. It slightly hurts, as it's like that breached feeling when a baby is breached and you're at like the 8th, 9th month. And all of a sudden at the last second it goes and it feels like this big like it's not comfortable. No. That's what just happened with your solar plexus. You can knock it back out again. You have to own your truths, and you have to accept the difficulties. You have to sit with them. Nobody can sit with them with you. Don't worry about getting ahead of things. Don't worry about thinking you know more than others. No. That's ego. That's not co-creative. That's not all connectedness. That's a matrix game. That's a power game. That's that power control. There's a lot of floodgates just opened. Like I got to be stronger, and I'm not supposed to be this, and I'm not supposed to be that. And whoa, be loyal to the love game. Self-love applied. So, that path of sun that I opened up for you, I feel like I just took all of your guts, like it's like represented through your guts, and I just went splat all out on the path for you, because you're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to once and for all deal with the truths of your soul. And if you don't want to, that's what's going to stop you. But you already thought you were done. You got to let that go. There's a lot of external applied. You keep your compass external, and I don't know why you would even think because you don't. You're not meant to. It's too vast. There's no way. This is why we have to surrender. Trust the universe card is coming out here. Rigidity is not serving. You don't live in a box. You know how they teach you to like separate boxes? Keep your emotions here. Do this here. Go to work and be that. No, that is not the way God works. God wants you whole in yourself and loving everything that you do. Full joy applied. Full heart openness applied. And we should love our world. Matrix doesn't like that. They like us compartmentalized, separated, and divided. And this is hard for you. Very hard. So there's like this rubber band, okay, in your energy. And if you pull too hard in any way, it's going to snap. And you don't want that. It's like walking a very tight rope, right? We want to be balanced. How do you balance that? How do you find your internal balance? You need to be focused in here. Your solar plexus will tell you, and your heart will guide you. Vulnerability is hard for you. Everything just went splat, and you're not going to like it. It's not going to feel comfortable. Don't avoid that. You don't have time. Sit in that and dig through that muck. Dig through that muck until you get the clear path of the sun. And once you dig through those emotions, not here, but in your body, then you're going to see the sun. It's like that perspective applied, the clear perspective applied. It's like that awakening. We awaken when we go within, not when we think it through. We've been so taught to avoid emotions. Ugh, it's like yucky. I feel very yucky. I feel slimed. I feel out in the open and exposed, and I don't like it. I'm already wanting to run behind a door and close that door and put up my wall. No, it's out in the open. You're going to have no choice. There will be 3 lessons. Boom, boom, boom. The only way you will get through them is not thinking you see them, but feeling your way through the world, one right here and right now only. You only have right here and right now. You can't think about tomorrow. Stop thinking about tomorrow. You have to stop thinking about tomorrow. This is something that you have not heard me on yet. And I'm seeing that in your energy. That's that rubber band. If you don't hear that call, it's going to snap you. Right here and right now. What is happening in this second, in this moment, in this space and time? That is all you have. And that is where you have to navigate through the energy through. Okay. So you're aligned. You're there. I've put you there. It's up to you. I have to heal your gallbladder area a little bit. Your appendix a little bit. You have slight appendicitis. You know what song I just heard? Ain't nobody crying, I'll take you there. Ain't nobody worrying, I'll take you there. Help me. Come on, I'll take you there. I'm your guide. You're not your guide. The light has to be your guide. You cannot guide you. You have to feel and release and allow your guides to guide you. Surrendering. 'Cause ain't nobody worrying. I'll take you there. Where there is worry, it is not love. Okay? Dive into it. Why am I worried? Why am I worried? What is this illusion? No. What is this confusion? Oh, no. Let's just love the crap out of everything within. Just love it so much. Just love it so much. Okay? Just love it. Where we're uncomfortable, love it. That's a key. Ain't nobody worrying. I'll take you there. Stop worrying. Stop worrying about others. Stop worrying about tomorrow. Stop worrying. Stop worrying. I'll take you there. Help me. Come on. Dun, 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 dun. I like that song. I'm going to put some light in your lymph nodes too to end this one out. That now I have to back out. I cannot give you anything else. The rest is up to you, okay? But I gave you everything you need. You have to listen to it carefully, very carefully. Feel your way through it, not think your way through it. And do not think about tomorrow, only every breath. Remember the breath, not time. Time is the matrix. Breath, life, new earth. Breath. Breathe. Breathe. That's the key to life right now. Breathe. Not time, not tomorrow. Breath. Breathing brings you into the here and the now. Let the thoughts go. Breathe. And I just went, whoop. All right. Let me readjust. Are you okay? I just splatted all of your stuff out. I need to know you're okay. That was a lot. And I hit you hard with it. You're welcome. Okay. Hey, I got to use my new cards. Oh, I loved that. Oh, you're so welcome. That's what I'm here for. And I know we missed your healing too last week, so that's good. I mean, it's good that we got there. But you're tired because you're spinning your wheel outside. When we meditate, and even Wayne Dyer would tell you this, if we can meditate, truly meditate for 20 minutes, it's like 8 hours of sleep for your body and your mind. Okay? It's so important. That's why I did that video on meditation. It really, truly is. The more I do it, I have to do it too, right? Like, oh, yeah. And when we feel yuck in our body, we're not usually grounded. When we push through, when we turn into the earth, we can ground more and more. And then you're rejuvenated. Okay. Who's next? Is it just Saint? All right. Let me make sure I've got my cards put back so I can go with whatever is for you. Oh, just Saint. There is some old school energy coming out. Are you still with me? Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, just Saint. Okay. All right. She says, yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. Okay. Ain't nobody worrying. I feel like that's just the leftover. I really like that song, though. That's what came through in Birthing the New Earth. I'll take you there. Help me. Come on. That's the new earth, you guys. The new earth. There's like no more suffering. There's no more crying. There ain't no more worrying and no more lying. Oh, no. No, no. No more deceptivity. That's a great message. And everybody can get something from these messages if they relate. If something in them sparks something in you, heed the call. Okay? All right, let me completely detach. I still feel a little bit of Lisa in my solar plexus. You don't need anybody else's power. I feel like sometimes you don't understand your own. And so there is a little bit, that's that power pull, right? Like I feel like you have this thing where I need to understand it here. And that's the only way I understand it. So this is foreign. It's an emotional understanding, not a mental one. Very related. Oh, great. I'm happy. Yes. Wherever there's relation, it is also something in you because shadow is collective. More releasing. I'm so sorry. Remember in the healing, the Return of Christ stuff, there was 2 shadow components. One is individual and one is collective. It's like the fungus among us, right? All those tangled webs we weave. We're all connected, shadow included. Okay. So there's always stuff where we will relate to one another. Okay, and don't bond through that. No, psychology will tell you trauma bond. Don't do that. Okay, just saying. I feel like Mary Poppins all of a sudden, and I have my umbrella. You're very regal. You're very regal. You are very regal. And I feel like excuses, right? Like like they're in your energy. Beware of deceptivity. Beware of deception. Be aware of deception. I need to get too many decks going on. I got to get my deck, the Ascension Messages deck. Here. Beware of deception. It blinds you very quickly and very easily. Again, it's like a power given away of, like you have all this power in you, but you have a hard time encompassing it. A very hard time. Sometimes you will literally feel your power and you'll be like, throw that shit away. Why? Let's dig into why. Why would we do that? So that you don't outshine others, number 1. Then you don't like judgments, number 2. Whoa, there's a lot going on in your energy. Hang on. Let me slow this down. I need to ground you, and I need to ground myself together. You hear me? This is like not permanently, just for this moment in time. I need to take your cords. I need to unblock your root. Your root is blocked. There's like this there's like this thorn, like this, like a railroad tie. Was that you before that we had like these bloody railroad ties? There's one in your root. There's one in your root. Hang on. It's not a pretty one. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. It reminds me of the things through the hand of on the what I can't even I feel like my hands, I can't get them off. Like, you know how Jesus is railroad tied to the cross through his hand. Now, remember when I set his soul free, he healed our hands. He gave our power back of the hands. You're still nailed to the cross. Bear with me. Please breathe. Oh, breathe. Breathe. I don't like to own my truth. I don't like to own my truth. Breathe. It hurts my left hand. I have to like pull it out and it's painful. You ever felt like the sound of a rusty nail coming out of wood? I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I feel extremely dizzy. I haven't even got to your message yet. Like, I'm overwhelmed. Hang on. I feel like I have to stay hammered to the cross. Like, I don't deserve to rise. I don't deserve to rise. I'm afraid of my truth. I'm afraid of owning my truth. I don't feel like I deserve to rise. I feel like I fucked up. Like, I don't deserve to rise. And then Mary Poppins comes out and it's like, I have to be like this. I have to pretend to be perfect. And I'm not perfect. I grounded together, didn't I? I'm like, why the hell is this so theatrical? Like, what the heck? I don't feel like I'm separate from you. Vladimir's here. He's like standing to the left. He's standing to the left of you. Saint Germain is in front of you with the Akashic records. I feel so dizzy. I have to calm down. Please breathe. Every time I get to this space, I start to punish myself. Some people punish themselves through smoking and drugs. Other people punish themselves through negative self-talk. That's part of yours. I feel like I have to be punished. Like I feel responsible and I feel like I failed. And I don't like to own my truth. And I need to pull a card. I don't even know what it's going to be. I can't see. Breathe. Just saying, breathe. I don't understand this either. Just breathe. We are highly connected. I told you I had to ground with you. I'm like totally in your. The card I got is everything is through you. It only exists through you. Let's dive into that. One more. Don't judge. What you see in others is a direct reflection of what is within you. One cannot see something that is not within them to see. Everything is through you. Please breathe. Do you accept this healing? Because you're kicking me out. Okay. I heard yes. I heard a very Gretel yes. Like, oh my God, it's uncomfortable. But yes, I accept it. I don't like it. Nay, but I accept it. So like my hand is burned on the cross. It's like burning. It's like I gotta get off the cross. I can't stay on the cross. Like you're not meant to fall with it. Just saying. And then I hear, what about what I did? I need judgments out of this space. You don't understand what's happening, so let it go. Just be an observer. I don't care who you are. Judgments can't be here. Didn't I pull that card? No judgments. Everything is a reflection of you. If you think this is silly, theatrical, I keep hearing theatrical, then you need to heal that within you and understand that I'm not normal. This is not normal. The return of Christ is not normal. Religion is false. Just saint carries that bloodline. But you would know that if you watched my videos. Vladimir bloodline. In the return of Christ, she came through with the healing of the Vladimir bloodline to undo religion, to undo time. And my hand just came off. It pulled through the stake. It's very painful. Stake. I couldn't say that word. It hurt, and I feel like the rust is left behind on my palm, and my fingers are singed. You are trying to nail yourself to that cross. Self-punishment. You need to stand in your power. You need to stop making excuses. You need to stop expecting yourself to be something you're not. And you can blame somebody else, but it goes directly towards something you've done in a past life. You gave information to the darkness. You told them power of the light. In some life, you were looking in this ball, in this glass ball. Is part of your gift. You can see into the hands of time. You can see things that I was going to do. You can see things in the light. You're like a predictor. And at one point in time, you gave them power. through you. Boy, kya lakantaruan tarayo kuata. For some kind of gain. Gabakit like through. Now, like the right hand is coming off of the cross. Ain't nobody crying. I'll take you there. Why do you want to stay in the sorrow? Why do you want to stay in the past? Why do you feel you need to punish yourself? You need to take your power back at last. I'm pulling your power back. You have to see all truths. I don't care how uncomfortable it is for you. I have to pull that power back. I have to pull that tie back. We have to pull the tie back, and it's coming back, and it's quite stretched out. And it came out like it's back, but it's very stretched out, and I had to burn the end. Then I get to your root. There is that tie in your root, that railroad tie thingy, the bloody one that I saw. It's like bloody and it's in your root. Do you remember in the 7 days and I told you you had a cross burning beneath your feet? For some reason, there's something inside of you that said, I need to go with that cross. You feel like self-punishment should be applied. No. You don't. You didn't even see that. You didn't even really recognize that. You're afraid to look into the glass ball now. You're afraid to see things. You're afraid to see truths. You're afraid that you'll do it again, and that fear will cause you to be weak. You will do it again. You don't like your power because others wanted it. They used you, and you let them. Judgments. Did it come to the one that you don't like being judged? Remember, Gigi didn't either. And that just went right to my gut. You have to watch. You have to see. You have to feel it all. All the souls that burned, you have to process them. You have to. You have to. You have to. You don't need to punish yourself. You need to call it back. You're stuck in lack. You're stuck in fear. And you like to give your power away. You don't know how to stand in it again. I'm afraid to look in the ball. Look in the ball. You have no choice now but to see the truth. You have no choice now but to see what has happened and all those it has affected. It's not about punishment. It's about calling it back. Undoing what you did, what you helped cause to be. And then this takes me back to Salem. Oh my gosh. Back to Salem. I'm in Salem. I'm in Salem, Massachusetts. It's like 1700. I'm in Salem, I'm in Salem. I'm in this cabin, and I'm sitting down, and I'm wearing like this gray dress, and I have a baby in me. I have a baby in my belly, and I'm pretty young. I'm only like 17, maybe 18 years old. But back then, that we were totally old. Hysteria. Something about mass hysteria. Something about they're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. But they know. So they lied, right? They lied. What they were doing is they were getting information. I feel like you tried to hold to your power, and you died a very brutal death. You burned alive on a cross. and your baby burned. And you were pissed. And that's when you set out, you were going to come back and retaliate, which you came back and we cleared that shadow from Salem, remember? But you were doing something. You were doing something. I feel like it's like breadcrumbs. You were leaving pieces of information for others to see, for others to, you thought you could help them, and they were dying too. There's a lot of like responsibility and guilt. I feel like it's because of me. This is you. It's because of me they died too. I don't like to see, because it's always caused carnage. Then all of a sudden, just say, I see like this line of fire just went right back to you. It just went from Salem right back to you now. Oh. I don't really want to say what I just saw, but it undid what was done. The baby went from burning back to life, and then back in the womb, and then and kind of in your arms, and free, soul on the other side. This is not a baby you have now time. This baby did not come back into your genome pool. Not in this lifetime. Now, Vladimir is next to you. Vladimir has his foot on the ground. Okay, there's like he just like put his foot on the ground right in front of you. And from that is like blood. It's like this line of blood. Bloodline going from his foot to your foot and all the way up through you. And it almost looks like it becomes like a tree, like our neurological system would be. The blood just went bloop, bloop, bloop through your whole entire system. And there is no, like, what you don't see clearly, there's deception happening. What you don't see clearly is that would be a fallen. There's no need to punish. You have to call it back now through you. You have to, you got to set everything else aside, and you need to process their deaths. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. That will clear the bloodline. This is what you've been avoiding. This is what you avoided. This is what you shut it down for. This is why you give your power away. You very easily give your power away to the Matrix. And you thought you can just burn yourself on the cross. This is subconscious. I don't even think you realized this. You did and you didn't. Now, Gigi came in with this need to stop the ascension because she didn't want to own her truths. And this is where you connected to her with. You don't want to see it. You don't want to feel it. You didn't want to do the healings on those people. So now you must process their souls through. And once you accept it and you process their deaths, you're free. I feel like you opened up to one and one just went, phoom, and then they didn't like that, and you'll close out. You have to process their deaths through the bloodline of Vladimir. Vladimir has his foot at the ground, and there's like this line of blood going into you, and it looks like your neurological system. It looks like all your vein system, right? And it's filled with all of this blood. And as you accept to process their lives through, it will purify that bloodline. He is asking of you to do this. This was your sole purpose. This is what you keep trying to return to do. People don't realize that in the return of Christ, if they watched my videos, they would know you took a part in this in the ascension. You brought this through, you rose up to the occasion, and then when it came time for you to heal others through it, you judged them. But because truly you were judging you. You don't like it. You don't want to own it. You don't want to speak your truths. You don't want others to think it was you. But you. It was your bloodline. You took part in it. Yes, you did. You. And it goes back to Salem is one of the ties. You were giving breadcrumbs is what they're showing me. It's almost like you were making bread and then you were leaving like breadcrumbs behind to all of these other girls or these other people. And you thought you were helping them by giving them insights, but it got them killed in that lifetime because it was like mass hysteria and they burned and they tortured and they hung people. I just deserve to burn on the cross. No, nobody does. I feel like I stand up strong and I see you as like in Vladimir, I see you in Salem. These are two main ties. These are two main timelines that you helped create carnage. And I don't know if in Salem you realized you were doing that or not. Maybe you did. I feel like they might have used you just like they did back when you would look in the crystal ball. You have insights. You have the ability to see ahead. This is why you feel like you can't co-create because you don't want to see the truth. But sweetheart, you deserve to be free. And so do all of those other people. It's beautiful. It's love, freedom. Accept it. Accept the processing of the deaths. Don't be afraid. You have to accept it. You have to feel it. You get to a point and then you feel great and you're like, oh, I'm done. You were meant to help them heal out of it. Now you have to process their deaths because of what was done and because of what happened. You know. They're starting to build up in your energy. And once you accept processing their deaths and you turn to God and tell God you're ready to feel the carnage, to clear the bloodline, it's going to be a flood. You have to do it now, not later. There's a delusion, an illusion that you have time. There's always excuses, always that rise. And it's about giving your power away. You just want to give it away. You don't want your power anymore, which is absolutely not possible. Vladimir is with you to help clear that bloodline, and he will give you the souls to process through. This is how it has to be done now. Remember those souls behind the glass at that one time? And there was like a looking glass. For some reason, you never allow yourself to get there on your own. You always avoid it. I don't like to feel it. Own your truth. Put it out for all to see by processing those deaths. Help me, come on, I'll take you there. 'Cause ain't nobody worrying, I'll take you there. And ain't nobody crying, I'll take you there. Help me, come on. Lying to the races, I'll take you there. This is why you avoid co-creation, because you know Spirit's going to ask you to do something that's going to make you feel uncomfortable. And that's not fair. You have to understand that you must feel it to heal it. And I just detached from your cords and I left you anchored into what I would call the burning bush. Yeah, that's what it looks like the burning bush. Like, this is what you have to do in order to make it through this portal. You have to process, because you are supposed to help others clear it. So you can't judge others. You can't blame others, and you can't worry about others judging you. Who cares if they don't understand it? They don't understand what I did, but that's their path through. I'll take you there. Ain't nobody worrying. I'll take you there. Help me. Come on. So when you see this triggered in others, you don't like it. You shut down and you won't even help them. You didn't want to help others through because you're afraid. You're afraid. You're afraid you're going to hurt them again, but that's not the case. You have to set them free. You had a lot of people that needed your healing light, and now you have to process their deaths through. Don't assume that means they're going to die. They can't rise unless you do this. Clear perspective, not deception. God is good. Saint Germain will stay with you with the Akashic records, and Vladimir is going to stay on your left side with this bloodline from his foot into you. It is up to you to process those deaths. I would do it. I would do it very fast and very swiftly and as much as you possibly can, and get to the other side as quickly as you can. Once that is done, you will, like a dove rising above. You will step into your full power, and you will be ready to heal others again. And I just came back. Oh, Roger, you're still governed by the shadow. Oh, Jacinth, I know you were crying. I'm so sorry. That was intense. And I was in your energy and I couldn't step out to check on you. I know that was a lot. That was a lot. That was powerful. And I love how it keeps coming back to that song that came out in the New Earth creation, didn't it? So beautiful. All right. Amy sat through Lisa's and Jacinth, and she is up. I feel like there's nothing more important than this right now. Not work, not anything. This is the most important thing you could possibly do right now. And if you can't see that, then there's work to do. Free healings from the one who brought the return of Christ back through in order to ascend. It's a gift. Use it wisely, my friends. All right. You're welcome, Jacinth. Do it, please. Tune into that. You have no other time but to do that. Do not let anything take you for. Jacinth, I need to give you this final message. Remember the deceptions card? Please understand that anybody that comes up to you and says you don't have time, it's a shadow. The only time you have is to sit with this and process those deaths. Everything else is a deception and a distraction. Do not, I repeat, do not give your power away. Okay? This is the only way to call your power back. All of what I said in there is relevant, and I just got chills. Don't judge anybody and don't judge yourself. Everything is actually through you. It has to process through you to clear that bloodline. That was your sole purpose. It just has to be done a different way now. Okay? Yeah. All right. Let me get a sip of water and then I will tune that completely out of that and into Amy. Amy, you're already I need lavender. I need amethyst and I need lavender. Aww. Aww. Amy says, as I released the railroad tie, she released so much too. That was intense, just saying. That was intense. You have mine too, but I just can't. I'm here. Don't, the biggest thing I can say is please don't judge yourself and don't judge others. They go hand in hand. You don't deserve to suffer. Please don't say that. Please don't say that. That is not the case. And it will help no one. Those souls will suffer with you. Do you understand? So if you chose to burn on that cross, they would too. That's what Vladimir is trying to show you. That bloodline runs through your veins. Yeah, you got this. And this is what Gigi didn't want to have come through. It wasn't just me and my damn uniting. It was what also you had to do. So understand that. And also, before we got in, I was going to tell you, please pay attention to any little ties you have to her. You need to cut them. What tie do you still have to her? Find it and sever it. Okay. All right. Tuning into Amy now. Ain't nobody worrying, I'll take you there. Ain't nobody crying. Help me, come on, I'll take you there. So I know Roger came in and left because he had to work. That was like the day he came in and said I had to go to church. Y'all, if you are governed by the matrix, I got to go make money because I got to live. You won't live. I know that's hard to understand. I kind of hoped he would have come and got a healing, but he did not. It's a bummer. It's a bummer. We can only lead them to the water. We can't make them drink. Ain't nobody crying. Remember, the only riches came through in the new earth. 2-12-12. Que para que entre eu. Okay, Amy. You are up, my friends. There's nobody new here for a healing or a message. That's pretty sad, too. See? I try to give stuff away for free and people still don't take it. That's how much the resistance has won. I don't bite. I help you through. It's priceless. Absolutely priceless. And it's free. I felt somebody come in and judge, though, when I was doing Just Saints. Don't do that here. This is true work of God. It's beyond the mind. Beyond. All right, Amy, you're up. And it looks like you're the final one. Thank you to everybody who stays with me the whole time because there's lots to learn here. There's no other time like the present time. There's nothing more important than to be with God. And this is where you're going to find a space to be with God. That's an amen. Okay. Yeah, there were 6 viewers at that point, now 3. Yep, there were judgments and I kept hearing theatrics. Then you're in the wrong place. It's just like the people giving negative dislikes to all the Return of Christ work. They aren't going to make it through. Just you have to find unconditional love. That's ridiculous, right? Take that somewhere else. Maybe love is what they don't have. All right. So Amy, you are up. This is why God ordered a great reset and bypassed a whole year's time for people to heal. Because they're not willing to see past the illusion of the resistance of judgment and confusion and blindness. Okay. Amy's up. Just ain't. I gotta let you go. I feel like you're trying to call my power back. You're trying to call my energy back. And don't worry about the judgments. Accept them. Sit with them. Feel them. Be front and center in them and be like, hello. Because judgments aren't of God. And when people throw judgments at you, that's their shadow. They're not bad people. It's just their shadow. They can't see through love. And it's okay. We have to consider we were all once there too, wounded, blinded, right? It's okay. All right. Never let that stop you. Amy says, Alyssa, do this. I have to pull a directional, and then I have a relation. The ship deck I got to pull from really quick because there's something going on with your twin flame journey, Amy, and you need lavender. I need a lot of amethyst. I have pink amethyst and I have amethyst crystals here, chevron amethyst and some angel auric amethyst. So I'm going to call those into your energy. They're right here in front of me. Okay, so let me pull the full message first. You're not getting clear messages because you need to upgrade your tools and modalities. So I would just stick some crystals in the dirt for a little while that you have, cleanse them, and then call on Athena to do your cards and all of them, because we went through a transitional phase into the new earth. So clear any shadow component, like past stuff components of those tools and modalities. And then I also want you to imagine the soil going up your silver column. I don't know if we're going to do that for you today, but I'm saying that is a tool you need to incorporate often, is imagining the soil from the earth. Yeah, I forgot to do that. Take the soil up through your silver column because you're being misguided. So I heard change your directions quickly. There's something you're not hearing clearly, and it's shadow component. Whoa. And this has to do with because your DM is still being governed by the shadow. Ain't nobody worrying. I'll take you there. Woo! Ain't nobody. Okay, and then I have pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Look at that with the message that I already gave you. I'm all sweaty and I feel yucky and my blonde hair looks like it. I don't like it. Okay. Pay attention to the red flags because the signs are cautioning you. That healing with just Saint kicked my ass, y'all. Like, whoa. Okay. Then we have children. Your love life is being affected by children. Now, I don't feel like this is external children. This is healing the totality within you. Because, hear me out, the next card I have is water. There are emotions within you that you have not allowed to come to the surface. Again, there's some like this, I have to be tough. I think I finished things. No. You really need to dig deep into things from your past that where you and him connect. So as a twin flame, this is what I tell you why you have to align internally before externally, because all of this should have been healed, right? And so it's overwhelming in your energy because it's like screaming at you, right? And when they tell you to go heal your childhood, it's not right. So remember how I taught you, okay? So digging, remember the message for the collective for the week ahead, digging. You're slightly being blinded. You're slightly being blinded by his shadow. He doesn't know he's doing it though. Again, this is not conscious in his part. It just comes out because there's still wounds in him that stem from both of you from past lives, not just childhood, past lives and also childhood wounds. So you have to heal to the totality of yourself to where you were free before judgments and ego and fear took over. Okay. You have to heal your inner wounds, the inner wise, masks in you, not in him, in you, which will in turn release them for him. because that's how twin flames work, okay? And it is always through the feminine, because God made Eve and then he made Adam to protect Eve. They're twin flames, okay? Am I going too fast? So I want you digging into the totality of you. You've got to let these emotions come, and they don't feel good. They're not going to feel good. It's going to feel uncomfortable, and you like to run from them too, because you're a tough bitch. I'm sorry. You're badass. You like to be tough. I feel like you're not like overly tough. Okay, good. But I feel like there's just avoidance here, right? Like I don't want to feel weak. Key. I don't want to feel weak. Puzzle piece. This is about a completion. You need to complete the puzzle. You have to complete the healing. You have to complete the emotional release that takes you back to the child within you and with him. That releases all back to before life took it over, right? So going to heal our inner child is not going backwards into your childhood to feel to like love that child forward. It's all done right here and right now within you. And this is where light healers and all the healers were kind of misguided. Okay. We have to understand this. In order to heal the inner child, you have to dig in the here and the now, into your body, hidden into the emotions, into the whys do I do these things? Why am I governed by this? Why does this control me? Why does fear control me? What everything that comes up, you're going to have to do that. Everything that comes up, you need to do that. Because you have to protect your family. Okay? Protection cave. You need to go within you and heal to the vulnerability of the deepest, darkest places and emotions, kind of like what I told with Lisa, but different, a little bit different for you, because just different lessons, different experiences, different wounds. These are wounds that you don't like to let surface. It's avoidant behavior. So if you could, you'd work like 50 hours so you could avoid them. And this is a key piece to the completion of that healing that's required. You have to release these emotions. It's going to come out in floodgates of emotions. And then what'll be really weird is it won't just come out of you. Like you'll eventually see him get emotional too out of the blue. Okay. Pay attention to the red flags, because there have been signs cautioning you and you've ignored them. Maybe not intentionally, but there's something that you do to where you're like, nah. No. You like avoid the signs. So you have to be very careful. Okay. These are healings that nobody can do for you, because just like me with my twin, this is why I don't like when people are like, oh, I'll heal you to your twin flame. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. They can't. They can only heal you so far. And you have to do the rest as a twin flame. You have to really dive deep into you and unmask all of those hidden truths within yourself and all of those hidden emotions that take you back to that inner child. It's also past life related, where we stopped being our truest self. But you have to go back to the truest self, where joy was your guide, freedom and happiness and adventure and your imagination was front and center before the matrix told you otherwise, before judgment, before fear and lack of love clouded what was in you. And that is the piece you are needing, the piece to your puzzle. He is not risen because of that. You cannot avoid this. I've said this before, and it's something you need to really dig into now. Like get that shovel out and just dig. Because somehow you've been misguided. You followed a direction that wasn't from spirit themselves. And they've been trying to show you that. And I get so many chills when I said that. Okay, let's go into your healing. Yeah, I feel like I need to sit your ass down. This is avoidance. You like to get up, like your subconscious is trying to jump out of your skin. Twin flame healers, we have a lot more to heal. Okay. This is not just your wounds. It's both of your wounds. It's where you meet in the middle. So just as there's like double healing, it's like double pull against it. Okay. So you can't run. You have to sit still. You avoid it. You have to sit still. You got to stop running. You got to stop hiding. You've got to stop running. You've got to stop hiding. Okay. So remember again, with you, I see the path of sun. I feel like all three of you was kind of represented in that, but you each have a different path, right? Jacinth's got hers, Lisa's got hers, and yours is now being represented as well. So it's a path of sun. You're on the path of the sun, right? You have been, and you've been doing really good with it, even when you didn't like it, even when it like smacked you right in the face, right? It's like, I don't like that. That's okay. So this is what I'm seeing. I see a wolf. There's a wolf with you. There's a wolf. Wolf, spirit guide, wolf. So you have a wolf like on your right side, but like the sun, the path of the sun is lit up, and then all around you is like dark. Like it's like dark. There's like, it's hidden in shadow. It's hidden in shadow. I don't see the new earth yet. It's all hidden in shadow. So kind of reminds me of Thriller. Like he's walking down and he's like waiting for the zombies or something to pop out of the darkness. I feel like the wolf is with you. So you have strength and protection on your side is kind of what that's, it's like pack, right? You're not alone and you are protected, and he's helping to guide you. It's a very beautiful wolf. Also kind of the moon representation coming in here. Okay. Wolves are also represented by the moon. So that's kind of like what? And then remember the water dripping from the moon. Ha! Emotional release. Okay. For the masculine side. This is what that meant, Amy. This is what your dream was telling you. And I see it now in your energy. So you have a wolf trying to guide you, trying to protect you, because you have people that are going to come out of the dark and try to bite you. And they constantly do that. It'll like, they'll just come out of nowhere and it'll be like, ah, and they're trying to get you. Okay. Because it's a distraction. It's just and the moon with the water represented, you need to release emotions to heal that moon and to make that moon whole. You have to release those hidden emotions to the wounds that go back to both of you in order to make that moon whole. You have to. When I told you years ago that it's an internal journey and you had to do things this way, this is where the shadow got you. For some reason, it was like, I can do it my way. No, you cannot avoid this path. If you don't do this, he can't be whole. Wow, that dream just came full circle, didn't it? I'm like, whoa, I see it. Okay, so the light of the sun and the path in front of you, and they're going to be like zombies coming out of the woodwork. And I call them zombies because they're just being governed by the shadow, right? Not by the light. And it's like Attack of the Zombies. And they're going to come out of nowhere. They will always come out of nowhere, and they will always try to distract you because that's what gets you. This is your challenge. But there's a lot of emotions. So that big full moon represents a lot of emotions that you've avoided. And you've got to let them floodgate. You've got to open it up. You have to be vulnerable. You have to be honest. And you have to be loud. You cannot hide. For some reason, this is something you don't admit. You hide. You hide me. You hide your truths. You run from it. You don't speak it to others. You're waiting for them to see it on their own. And that is avoidant behavior. You have like this avoidant behavior. Like if I work hard, I feel like maybe your dad's in there because I feel his energy like work hard, avoid emotions, work hard. That will not serve you. You have to let that go. Okay. And I feel like I was just ripped open, like, whoo. Yeah, again, there's a lot of like, I don't feel comfortable in this state. I don't want to be open to the public this way, but you have to be. And I don't just mean like everybody out, like you really do hide. You hide things. More than you know, but it's not just you. It's him too. Remember the moon with the water. The water represents emotions, and you needed to release his emotions to make your moon whole. Okay, so I need to take the light from the crystalline grid and bring it up into your feet. And then it's going to kind of pull you down a little bit into the earth, because it's like, I'm an escape artist, man. I will avoid and I will escape and I will do things my way. And that is going to not serve you at all, at all. And Spirit's been giving you red flags. And sometimes you'll read those red flags as synchronicities. And that's what I told you you cannot do. You have to take those messages very, very, very deep. So for you, it's like, I feel like you have to sit still. I need to sit still and have the spotlight on me. That's what I'm saying, is you sitting in a chair, not like shackled, but sitting in a chair. You cannot move, and the light is shining upon. It's like a heat lamp, and it's very vulnerable, and it's like providing all this heat, and you're starting to sweat, and you're like almost having to like be interrogated until you get down to the nitty gritty of the uncomfortable. And I feel like I have to be interrogated. Like, I feel like that. I feel like I'm being interrogated, and I don't like it. I don't fucking like it. Blech. And then the wolf comes up and he says, sit still. Own your truths and own them fast. And dig down into the emotions to release them at last. Otherwise, your moon won't be whole and he will not make it through with you. He has not made it through. And then what will happen is you get kicked back. There is strength within you. Somehow, too, it's still a focus of money rather than joy and love. But there's still lack. Like, I'm not strong enough. It's almost like I feel like I need to be strong, right? But I feel like I don't like to feel weak. And for somehow, I don't think I'm strong enough. Own your truths. So I'm going to bring in this light from the crystalline grid, and it's going to come up into your feet, into your ankles, into your calves, and into your knees. And you're already starting to push it out. You don't like it because it's going to make you own your truths. So while you're on that path, you have to reflect your truths. Everything's going to reflect your truths. And there will be zombies trying to come out at you and take you away, get you to get up and have to move. I feel like I have to move. I feel like I have to do this. I feel like I have to do this. I got to do this. I got to take care of others. I got to do this. I'm responsible for everybody. Sit your ass down. Spotlight. You have to be true to yourself. Otherwise, you will blind everybody else. And the moon won't be whole. Wolf. You know how they howl at the moon very loudly at night? So the light's going up through your thighs and into your root. Spotlight. It's going to illuminate all that is not. Ain't nobody worrying. You'll be accepted. Of course you will. Ain't nobody crying. So you've already been distracted once, and you got a warning sign about it. Ain't no nothing more important than this. Everything else will work out when you need it to. But nothing, I repeat, nothing is more important than this. Not attorneys, not court, not anything. You can make sure you do what you need to do in time. Ain't nobody crying. I'll take you there. Help me, because I feel I see the gavel in your root. It's like that's a distraction for you, and somehow he still has that power over you, and it's much more important for you. And that is a lesson you need to learn. There was nothing more important than doing this 2 years ago. Ain't nobody worrying. So you had 2 years to heal all that. So this is going to be a floodgate of emotions. This is going to be the most emotions you're going to have to draw through and accept the truth of, and uses everything as a reflection of you. You have to, but it's time. I'll take you there. And then once he awakens all the way, you can awaken all the way. Because even you can't see clearly because he can't see clearly. Going into your sacral. This is an illumination light. This is going to cause all things to be reflecting for you. Ooh, my sacral is very guarded. I'm trying to push it out. And then I felt, okay, fine. And I go back into your sacral. And it's like this light coming in to help illuminate all that is not. It's going to reflect in your environment. So what that means is there are going to be things coming out at you trying to distract you and take you away. Sit your ass down and dig and dig and dig and dig. Take off the masks. Take off the masks. Get back to the wholeness of you. That is not afraid to let your imagination be your guide, and joy be the first thing that you do and the last thing that you do. Stillest focus of money and pride. Ooh. Whoa. Whoa. That was a release. And my sacral just went exposed. Going up now. I have to go through the chakra that's in between your sacral and your solar plexus. And it's also going to hold space for that one. And then I'm going into your solar plexus. I hear alchemy in there. There is still this need to it's ego-based. I don't want to say you want to be better than anybody because that's not accurate. But I still feel like you don't feel like you're worthy or good enough. And so it reflects as a way of I'm going to push that down, right? I need to elevate in a way that's not accurate. I don't know how else to explain that. For some reason, I almost look for my validations rather than allowing myself to guide myself to those validations. You don't want to give yourself space to be nothing. You don't want to give yourself space to be weak. You don't want to give yourself space to be vulnerable. You just immediately want to jump into, I'm this. But there's stuff there that has to be done in between to get you to this. Does that make sense? And it's about lessons and unfolding and learning and internal growth. But you got to sit still. I feel, again, sit your ass down. And at this point, I feel like the wolf is kind of snapping at your ankles. It's kind of taken that. You've had things happen where it's hello, right? Hello, I'm biting at your ankles now. It's going to take something drastic. So that's what that dream was representing, is that you need to release the emotions in order for the moon to be whole. And you have to sit still to do it. And so that's what the horse represented also, is you cannot ascend. The horse is about action. So you needed to take action to release the emotions to make the moon full. But you actually have to sit still to do it. You're avoidant. And you let all these outside distractions take you away because you think they're more important. That's a lie. They will not resolve until you do this anyways. They'll take you down. Ain't nobody worrying. I'll take you there. And your dad says this is the toughest thing you've ever done. You're going to have to. So remember how big the moon was. It's a lot of emotions you're going to have to process at one time because it's what you tried to bypass and do it your way 2 years ago. So there's a buildup. There's a buildup of a lot of healing that he needs. And the only way to get it all at once is just to be boom. You feel it's possible. But you gotta boom. You gotta boom. Exposed. You have to feel exposed. Something about I like to hide behind the closet. I don't want to come out of the closet. You got to be exposed. And for some reason, you even hide it from him a lot. You've got to be exposed. You have to be transparent to everybody. Sorry, you're distracting me right now. I can't do this. This is more important. This is what I have to do. This is the truth. This is what's been happening. This is what I have to do. And if you can't understand that, power. Call your power back from all of them. It's like your solar plexus, you keep blocking it. So I'm going to open it up because that's what I'm doing. Everything has to be exposed. It has to be highlighted. It has to be heat lamp, the heat lamp, like the interrogation feeling. You feel like you're interrogated. You feel like that when I come at you with your heart review and things like that. It's like I'm being interrogated. That's the wound inside of you. Key to digging into that. Dig in now. Now I go to your heart. Your throat is the worst one, but I'm going to your heart. I can't bypass. So there was this push to try to get me to bypass your heart to your throat. You cannot talk your way through it. You have to feel your way through it. Sit still. Sit still. Sit still. Time and money, time and money, time and money. I don't have time and I need money. I don't have time and I need money. Time and money. They're in quicksand. And if you grab onto those, you're going to fall into the sand and you won't get out. This is difficult. This is not easy. This is not mild. Sit down. And then I see you shackled to a chair in your heart space. And that interrogation lamp is on you. And you don't want to see it. You don't want to feel it. You don't want to own this truth. It's like, get the fucking spotlight off of me. I don't want people to see me that way. And it said, nope, right on you. And you are the one who holds yourself chained down. Nobody else. Once you do this, you will be unchained because he is still shackled. There's some deep wounds. You're going to also process his stuff. Okay. So things that are going to be inside of you may not always resonate to you because it's not all just yours. You need to understand that. Twin flame relationships are internal. And for some reason you avoided this because it's just, you don't like it. You don't like to feel these things. You don't want to feel weak, right? Like you were taught not to. You were just taught not to. Sit down. Stay still. Everything is going to try to take you away from it. And I do mean everything. Like all these things coming out at you out of the shadow. You won't see them coming. It'll be like so random. And it'll just like a phone call or a person or a this and or that. And distraction. And then spirit will try to show you and you're like, okay, cool, I'm good. No. Slow down and truly ask what those messages mean. You need to dig and you need to open because you cannot see clearly because he cannot see. He's still shackled. Okay, so now we're going to the throat where it really, really, really hurts. I don't own the truth. I don't believe it. That's the honest truth. I still sometimes think this is the biggest bullshit I've ever eaten. Sometimes I question myself and think this is the biggest bullshit I've ever eaten. Kind of like I'm feeding myself maggots and kind of like I'm in self-destructive mode. That's your truth. But yet I know it's true. So why do I lie to myself? That was uncomfortable, but I didn't even really see that to be my truth, but that is my truth. Yep. So you have to own that. And you're going to have to eat those maggots. Metaphorically speaking. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to taste good. It's not going to taste good. But this is kind of what you have to clear. Own your truth. Own your truth. You're still looking for external stuff rather than internal. You didn't want to own your truth. You didn't even want to see your truth and how you truly felt about it. And it came up before, and it's like, I feel interrogated and I don't like it. I feel exposed, and that can't be the case. And it's okay. It's okay. Sit still. Love. I feel like your throat is ripped in two halves. You're living a double life. And you do it through lies to yourself. And you allow everything else to distract you. There's a veil there. That's why. There's a veil, and that veil is not all yours. I feel like I'm throwing up maggots. Like these larvae thingies. That makes sense to what's been draining my throat. I didn't get it until now. Until you do this, your throat will remain ripped open. And the light's going up to your third eye. So half of your third eye is shadow. I can't see. The other half is open. So you've got to really deep dive into those messages because of that. Like half the eye of Horus is closed. It's not open. It's a big shadow. So you're not able to fully see. And that's what that message was about. Spirit saying, hey, we've been giving you red flags, but you're not seeing them as that. Half of you can see, the other half cannot. And that is truly playing out. So you have to be very, very, very careful with that. Plus, not owning your truth. It becomes all-consuming. If you really own your truth, you didn't want to let that job go. You still don't, and you still regret it. And sometimes you think you made the biggest mistake you've ever made. Is that really from God? Is that really from your heart? Or is that the maggots you've been feeding yourself? Right? Like we have to see. Oh, my throat feels very, very, very vulnerable. It's like exposed. Bypassing that feeling, pushing it down does not heal it. You have to dig in and heal it. I don't feel like you've necessarily accepted those, but I feel like they're within you and you have to heal them. So it's almost like that avoidant, right? The avoidant, and I'm good. I just don't pick it up and I'm okay. But what you need to do is dig. You got to dig it out. You got to dig it out. You got to heal it out. You got to heal it out. You got to release it out back to the wholeness of you before judgment, greed, ego, and anything else took over. You have to release the shackles. He's shackled. And somewhat of you is too. So within your third eye, there's a clear understanding of what is seen and what is not now. It's like I am exposing all that you need to have exposed, because I keep hearing, I'll take you there. And then we're going to go into your crown and do the same thing. There's a clear division. You have one side that's shadowed and the other side where there's light. And you have to completely see the two of them separate. So that way you're not blinded into the light. They cannot combine or you won't make it. You have to release the one side. So I feel like your higher self is going to hold space for those two to remain separate because you keep combining them and thinking it's done. But it was because you can't see clearly. You're not seeing the messages quite clearly because of that, because that shadow is blinding you. So your higher self is going to put like this, like a little, like a door stopper, like looking thing in between the dark and the light. So that way it doesn't blind the light. So that way you can see clearly. So that way you can see the distractions, and you have to choose the right choices. You have to clear those maggots. I don't like that. It's like those little larvae. You know what I mean? You got to clear them. You got to eat your truth. And then I see coffee beans. So I'm bringing coffee beans through your energy. I don't know why. I just need the coffee flavor. I need coffee beans, like the brown, the dark, the brown, the earthy, the coffee beans. And I'm going to bring it down through your energy. And it's also opening up your veins because I need my veins to be widened and I need some blood flow here. So for whatever reason, like I'm using the coffee beans to do that. I feel like the earthy tone and the coffee in itself is actually helping to kind of detox my blood flow and allow clear blood flow to my brain. And now where I leave you is shackled to that chair in the green heart space with the interrogation light on you, the wolf right next to you. And in the shadow, you won't see anything in the shadow. You can't see anything out in front of you. And every now and then, these things are going to pop out of the shadow to try and zombify you. Does that make sense? Because if they leave you blinded, you're going to fall out. You can't be blinded. You need a clear perspective. You need to make that moon whole and release all those emotions. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. Sit still. Help me. Come on, I'll take you there. Ain't nobody worrying. You got to keep the worry. The worry is a shackle that blinds you. You're not in your full power. There is a pull against you. Very big one. And with that, I'm like, whoop. And I came right back to myself. And I need to cut all ties to the energy. Whoa, I got turned around. Yeah. It drives me nuts. And the coffee beans. Coffee beans, and I see it drives me nuts. That's funny. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Yeah, exactly. And it is what you were taught. You guys, we have to realize is that nobody's like, ooh, shame on you. These are just shadow components that we've picked up. Remember, lifetimes. And our parents do it because their parents did it. And it's all the world of the karmic play out. But we have to let all that go. That's all it's about. Okay? But it's not easy. And what's really confusing is, like I've said, is like where the shadow lies, we can't see. So that's the one thing that will get people, is because they're blinded. They won't be able to see. And then it's going to be like, whoop, and it's too late, you know? I don't want that. I want everybody to make it, but that's just me. That was the one thing I asked for when I was activating pyramids. I said, God, I want everybody to make it. And he said, oh, free will. I'm like, oh, okay. That was good. We were here for a while, but I appreciate you all that came and got messages and healings. Those were some of the most beautiful and intense healings I've seen in a long time. They were absolutely unequivocally ascension based, obviously. And the work I do is God's work. So yes, it was intense. Yeah. Oh yeah. But that's a good thing, right? It's a good thing. You guys, this painting right here, you have to understand there's Bibles burning, there's crosses burning, there's pyramids, there's volcanoes, there's bridges going to collapse, the sun and the moon. Like, this stuff is absolutely unavoidable, unequivocal, not normal, end of times. Aw, Amy. Oh, I'm sorry to be happy you're crying, but I'm happy I made you cry. Is that okay? I love you. We all have, you guys. I still do things, and I have a twin flame too. And so I have to go within and find out what it is and dig into it and release it and heal it. It's okay. You got this. It's never about being done. It's about rising. It's about rising. It's about learning and growing and glowing and rising and shining and love. It's about love. Where can I encompass more love? Because love is a contagious. Love is good. God is good. And I'm exhausted now. You can't tell. I feel like I need a good bath and a shower, both. Bath first, then a shower. And I have to go do healings on my kids too, because they wanted some. I'm like, what? And they're like, Mom, I want healings. I'm like, okay. It's good stuff. It's priceless. It truly is priceless. So I'm glad you guys came. Thank you for coming. I wish new people would have come too, but it's like the resistance is constantly getting people, and healing into the ascension was priceless. And I wish more people would have taken advantage of that. I really, really, really do. Now with healings, we never know what's coming, right? Sometimes when I do healings on you, it's just straight physical. Sometimes it's this. It's whatever is needed. So you never know. Right? You never know. You're so welcome. I'm so glad y'all came. It was a very long live. Thank you for being here. I'll do another one again probably next Sunday. But I don't know what's coming this week. There was a grave message that was very important for the week ahead. So good to rewatch this too. So much love, you guys. I know I've left you in a very vulnerable state. Don't hesitate reaching out to the personal group and when you need support, because you're not alone. Amy, you've got the wolf right by your side, by the way. And just you had Saint Germain in the Akashic Records, and you have Vladimir on the other side. You're so welcome. I'm like, whew, out of it. So much love, you guys. Cleanse your energy, reground, regroup, and stay connected to the light. The sun has to be your guide. The sun is the guide home. Okay? Because ain't nobody worrying. So remember, in the new earth, there's no worrying. There's no lying. There's no crying. And there's no nothing. It's all joy and love. But we have to heal what keeps us from that to get there. Okay? I love you guys. So much love. Till next time. You're beautiful. You bring joy to my heart. And I wouldn't be me without you. See you later.